To be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea still falls around it. So said Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and emperor of Rome. And if I have one goal for the new year, it's to be more like this: steady, reliable, and patient as the world continues to hammer us all. This video is about sitting with your emotions, such as grief or anger, and using them for the best possible ends. I'll begin with a reflection on the Mask of Zorro, look briefly at Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars, and connect those stories with the work of Ryan Holiday and the writings of Marcus Aurelius in Meditations. This is Geeky Stoics.
Now I'm free to kill you.
The other day, I was rewatching The Mask of Zorro, a childhood favorite of mine. And Zorro is a wonderfully fun movie and a powerful guide to the foundational principle of Stoic philosophy, which is focusing on what is within your control. Anthony Hopkins as Don Diego demonstrates this with
The Master's Wheel. This circle will be your world.
The swordsman begins in a large circle where nothing exists beyond it. Not his enemies, not politics, or personal needs.
Until I tell you otherwise, there is nothing outside of it.
Capitan Love
There is nothing!
As the swordsman grows, the circle contracts, bringing him closer to his goal. Zorro's goal is revenge, and to kill one Captain Love who murdered his brother Joaquin. The circle is about control, and training Zorro to bring his enemy into a space where he can maximally influence the outcome and win the battle. If Zorro were to act too soon against Love, he might find himself outside his circle and at a disadvantage. He'd be killed, and justice would never be delivered. It bears a remarkable similarity to the concept in psychology and cognitive behavioral therapy of the sphere of influence, or circles of control, where the patient is someone who wastes their energy and their emotion on things they can't influence as a single individual. You cannot control the weather or tomorrow's climate, but you can get the right clothing for that weather so that you're comfortable. Bring things into your circle. There's an unforgettable scene late in the film where Zorro is in his disguise of one Don Alejandro. He is sitting in the presence of Captain Love. Love does not know that Don Alejandro is the hero known as Zorro, but he has grown suspicious of who he might really be. Love tries to rattle Alejandro by slamming a jar on the table between them, a jar containing the preserved head of Zorro's brother. Alejandro has been training for this moment since the journey began, not to duel Captain Love, but to not duel Captain Love.
I wish you luck. To your health.
To sit still. Yes, Alejandro needed work as a sword fighter, but that wasn't his story arc. It was to gain self-control and delay gratification. He wanted things now, now, now. But he needs to control the ground on which he is fighting. That was his real journey, and so he does not give Captain Love what he's looking for in an emotional response. Zorro does not hit send. This is not weakness. It's Herculean strength and Stoic philosophy in action. Stoicism gets a bad rap for being a philosophy of repression, a criticism that gets leveled often at it and is extended to characters like the Jedi in Star Wars. But it's not true.
It's between being angry and then doing something out of anger. You're gonna have your immediate reaction, but there's a lot of space between that and hitting send on the email that you wrote, dressing them down.
That is what author Ryan Holiday of the Daily Stoic is talking about here, and I think he gets it right. Stoicism doesn't ask you to not feel. It asks you to wield that emotion purposefully, rather than becoming subservient to those emotions. They are the tool, not you. And Stoics were awash in emotion historically. They had romantic relationships, they had children, and they were politicians confronting fear and suspicion, betrayal, and doubt in their daily lives. The most enduring of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, he buried 9 children in his lifetime, his kids. He buried his wife, Faustina. And when his beloved tutor died, it's written that Aurelius sobbed uncontrollably. Marcus's stepfather Antoninus told him, "Neither philosophy nor empire takes away natural feeling." That's right. And Zorro hasn't stopped loving his brother, and he is not done with his anger towards Captain Love, but he learned from his mentor how to channel those feelings toward a goal. After his confrontation with Captain Love, Zorro walks out of the room and cracks his cane over his leg, breaking it in two. This actually reminds me of Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn in The Phantom Menace when he has to negotiate with the junk dealer and slave owner Watto in order to get their starship repaired so Queen Amidala can be delivered to Coruscant. Their mission is of massive importance to the galaxy, and failure could mean political chaos in the Republic. The stakes are very, very high. Watto does not know this, and he wouldn't give a shit if he did. Then Watto has the nerve to be immune to Qui-Gon's Jedi mind trick and to reject Republic currency for the spare parts that they need. You can see that Qui-Gon is furious, but he does not speak. He just observes Watto and forces out a visibly frustrated smile before walking away from the situation. Jinn could have easily killed or subdued Watto and then taken what he needed, but then he wouldn't be Qui-Gon Jinn, a Jedi Knight. What Stoicism promotes is the abiding reality of emotions and a recognition of their power. Are our emotions who we are, or are they something else? I like to think of Stoicism and emotion like this. A cloaked visitor has knocked on your door in the night, and you open the door, greet the visitor, and ask them to reveal their identity by removing the hood before they can come inside. Anger, it turns out, is often fear, and disgust can often be confusion in disguise. Lust stems from loneliness, and sadness is sometimes a mutation of joy, which we may refer to as nostalgia or homesickness. And we need to answer the door, and we need to assess the intentions of our visitors, these things that are emotions. Are they really who they say they are?
Put every impression to the test. You have to ask yourself, is this assumption true? Because the reality is a lot of what we instantly believe in a situation is preposterous.
Stoicism is about testing our perceptions, and it only takes a few moments to do it. Life does happen very fast, and Stoic attitudes about emotion help us to become better processors of the rapid-fire information hitting us every few moments, such as a head in a jar. Because think about Zorro seated across from Captain Love and how quickly the situation turned from socially awkward and annoying to enraging in just a split second when that jar hit the table. If we're getting better at this, we become more like what Marcus Aurelius described in Meditations, what I began with, to be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea still falls around it. Zorro had become like the rock because he had worked tirelessly to develop self-control, dispense with drunkenness, and learn to count to 10 before reacting. He could now also analyze his opponent, Captain Love, and know his true intentions. That's how he wins. By making it through this situation, Zorro, Don Alejandro, knew that his secret identity may well be compromised, but Love could not prove it unless Alejandro overreacted to his cruel stunt, and he chose not to let Love win. But his anger never left him, nor should it. Zorro is going to let his anger have its moment because anger is a natural response to evil and injustice. We should all know anger's number if we need to call it, but it cannot be coming over uninvited. And I promise you, every day you and I will both fall short on this, but for every day there is a tomorrow. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing to this video. We've been doing a lot on anger lately at Geeky Stoics, so if you enjoyed this video about Zorro, Ryan Holiday, and Marcus Aurelius, then check out this one related to Seneca, Star Wars, and Dragon Ball Z. And then come join our community at geekystoics.com, a free weekly email on Stoicism, spirituality, and pop culture. We've been trying to come up with the perfect slogan or tagline to close videos on the channel. Right now, it's live better, mythically.